Good morning, friends and neighbors here in Hapeville. This is Dewey on the Hapeville channel, and I am at the intersection of Virginia Avenue and South Fulton. I'm right here. You've seen this before, the sign for Dewey. We're out here by Witch and a couple other businesses that are in this brick building right here, which we're going to talk about. But I started here because many of you drive by here and probably see this sign that says Fulton Theater and go, what the heck does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you about that right now, because when I first moved here, I would always see that sign that said Fulton Theater, and then I'd come back here and be like, where, when, what? And by the looks of this sign, I can't be sure, but I mean, it's changed, and that looks rather new historically. I think there might have been something else on top of it, and maybe this was called Fulton Theater Plaza or something, because now this brick building has businesses in it. But let me show you, let me go around the front and tell you that Hapeville used to have its very own movie theater. And it opened on March 23rd, a Thursday, March 23rd. Let me be careful crossing the street. Thursday, March 23rd, 1939. At 7 p.m., the very first movie was shown there, and it was called The Young in Heart, and it starred Janet Gaynor and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. It was a pretty big deal here in Hapeville, and that was the theater right there. You guys have all driven by it lots of times. There's Dewey Vietnamese, which this front part was added on, but this back part that you can see, that in the 40s, that opened as a service station because this was a very busy intersection. At the time, still is. But this opened on March 23rd, 1939 at 7 p.m. Hapevillians showed up here to watch The Young in Heart starring Janet Gaynor and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. What I love, I love how history like clicks and things come together. In my research, I found out that a local Hapeville man named J.A. Ragsdale, he's the one that built this place. Interestingly enough, I've researched a girl named Joanne Ragsdale who loved movie stars. I've shared that with you before. When she went to Hapeville High School, she interviewed Tab Hunter at the airport. He was a huge movie star at the time. When she got a little older, her and her husband lived in an apartment complex over on Virginia Avenue, right across from the airport. And they had Mickey Hargitay and his wife, Jane Mansfield, stay overnight in their apartment with them. I've shared that before. I have pictures of that. But I wonder if Joanne Ragsdale is the daughter of the man who built this movie theater, which J.A. Ragsdale. That would make complete sense, because that means she grew up coming to this movie theater and would be fascinated with movie stars. So this was the Fulton Theater, opened in 1939. It held 500 people. It had the movie theater, RCA, full state-of-the-art sound, which was rather new at the time, and it had a full stage. Unfortunately, before I tell you that, it was built for around $30,000. I didn't check to see how much that is in our money today, but in 1939, that would have been a lot of money. It was built for $30,000, and Mr. Ragsdale leased it to the East Point Amusement Company. Unfortunately, this movie theater stayed open for maybe 15 years. I forget the exact date, but it was like either 1953 or 1954 it closed down. It hasn't been a theater for what is that? 78 years or something like that. But the building is still here, and you drive by all the time, and you may have never noticed, hey, that kind of looks like a movie theater. I can imagine it with the marquee out in front, and I have a picture of it, which I will share in the comments when I get home, so you can see that. We'll get a little closer, and you can see now what's here is, there's a little sign up there that says the Fulton Theater Market. So at some point, it's not much of a market now. It's kind of boring stuff. There is a State Farm insurance right there. And on the other side, it is the Hapeville Charter Services office. And then up here it's a freight logistics company called BDP. So their website says they've been in business for 55 years. So I don't know if they've been in this location the whole time, but they could have. But they deal in freight logistics, and I'm really interested in that, in what the building looks like. But it hasn't been a theater in so long that I'm sure there's no signs inside that it is a theater, or that it ever was. But when you stand over here and look, you can see the height of the building on the inside that would allow for the fly, for movie theater, for the stage and such. But it's just fascinating to me. And one last tidbit about it is, in the 40s, Hapeville citizens were all in an uproar, and they went to city council, and there was even a city councilman who supported them that movies should not be shown in Hapeville on Sunday. But luckily it went to vote, and the movies were allowed to be shown here at the Fulton Theater on Sundays. However, again, it didn't last very long, and I think since it closed in the early to mid 50s, it was probably because of the invention of television. But there you have it. Next time you drive by here, you can tell your friends, this used to be the one and only movie theater here in Hapeville, called the Fulton Theater. A little later on, or around the same time, I haven't researched it completely, not too far away on Virginia, down where American Deli is, there was the Hangar Theater. I haven't researched much about that, but for a time, this was the only movie theater here in town. And what I really love to imagine is it opened in 1939. What else opened in 1939 here in Hapeville? It was a boom year. The brand new high school, Hapeville High School. So imagine how many Hapeville high school kids were so excited to be going to a brand new school, and this would be their date night here at the Fulton Theater, right here in Hapeville, y'all. So much cool history. All right, it's Labor Day. It's nice and cool. Enjoy yourself. Create yourself a great day. I'm going to go home and put the information, the articles, and the picture that I have of the theater in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.